Jonathan?
In Nevada, several casinos have cut the cord with our NV Energy subsidiary and are seeking their electricity needs elsewhere, even though they had to pay huge exit fees. I have 3 questions about this phenomenon. 1, do you believe that these are rational choices, or were they made for non-economic reasons? 2, what can NVD do, if anything, to stem the tide of defections? And 3, is this something that could happen in other states where you operate regulated utilities, or is the situation in Nevada somehow unique because of supersized customers that have more leverage in the power market than smaller industrial customers in other states? And I don't know whether that's a question for you or Greg, but I'd be happy to hear from either of you.
It's a question for Greg.
Thanks, Jonathan. So just for everybody, I think they heard the question from Jonathan, but we've owned the utility there for approximately 5 years. When we inherited the utility, we knew it had some fundamental issues around its customers. The relationships were really strained from day one because they'd had a history of continuing to increase rates, and they really weren't delivering renewable energy or meeting the customer's needs or expectations. So we knew we had some challenges there. As we sit here today, we've had 5 customers leave our system. Those customers still use our distribution services. So the only thing we do not provide them is the power. So we have lost an opportunity to sell them power, and we've lost the associated margin on that. And we were disappointed with that. We do recover, substantial fees, as you noted. How the commission looked at it was, well, you'll lose this customer. We'll give you effectively 6 years of profit on that, and by then you should have grown back into your normal load. And actually, it's a fair outcome. Our load is higher than it was relative to when those customers have left. So we've grown through that, and it's consistent with their belief. The fundamental issue, and you've touched on it, why are they leaving? There are economic reasons for them leaving. And the fundamental reason is in year 7, they no longer bear sort of the societal costs that are being imposed by the state. They don't have to bear the costs of renewable energy. They don't bear the costs of energy efficiency. And they viewed it as sort of the time to exit out of that model. We do have a variety of legislation that's going to levelize the playing field. We've had a number of customers that announced they were leaving now have entered into long-term agreements with NV Energy. And I really do believe our team has the right model, which we're much more focused on delivering a great value proposition to our customers. So it has to include price, but equally we're building substantial renewable energy there now. And long-term, our team will deliver a great proposition to them. And I think that and NV Energy it will prosper in the long term. We're going to be happy with it as a long-term investment. Thank you.
Greg, could you give the audience a rough approximation of what, say, in the 10 years or whatever it may be before we bought Nevada Power, what had happened with rates, what has happened with rates under us, and what has happened with coal generation under us?
Right. Yeah, that's great. So it's Warren's really expanding on the focus we've brought to delivering something to the customer. So if you'd looked at the prior 10 years, they pretty much had a rate strategy that every second year their rates would go up sort of by the cost of inflation. And that pretty much materialized year after year. We came in immediately, just like we've done in Iowa. So we've built all that renewable in Iowa, and we've never increased rates since the date we acquired it, 1999. So rates have been stable, and we don't ever see raising rates in Iowa till probably 2030 or 2031. Our team took a very similar approach in Nevada, which was to stabilize it. So rates are down probably 5 to 7% since we've owned them, so we haven't had rate increases. We've announced substantial rate increases again that'll take effect every 2 years. So just like we used to be able to have rate increases, we have a view of when we'll decrease their rates. The rates will go down again in 2002. In 2 years. And then on top of that, there's been an approach to eliminate coal, as Warren touched on. So fundamentally, when we acquired it, all their coal fleet was operating. We've retired a substantial portion of the coal fleet already. And by, I believe it's within a year, this 2023, we'll have eliminated 100% of their use of coal in that state. And it was a substantial portion of their portfolio in the past. So team's done a great job. Thank you.
Charlie, have it?
No.